my friends. Today we are going to talk about best maintenance practices. Best maintenance practices are the very basic of any implementation about maintenance world class. So at this time, I would like to make sure that we all are in agreement as to what is basic. What is basic in our business? If we are maintenance people, the basics is to create an environment, a work environment, where everybody does their work very well, where everybody helps each other, where everything is done right the first time. All those things that will produce a good sensation of doing the right things always. What I want is to emphasize the importance of seeing maintenance not as a job, but as a profession. And that is the focus of this particular video today. Best maintenance practices are the basics of world-class maintenance. To begin with our implementation of world-class maintenance, obviously we need to have some background. We need to have some things already in place, some disciplines already in place. And number one of those will be absolutely the 5S philosophy. 5S, as we all know, are very critical in anything that we are going to do in the progress of the lean manufacturing system. So for TPM, of course, there's no exception. For TPR or for any advanced maintenance plan that we may have. So let us just start with the 5S. The 5S, as you very well know, are about bringing everybody to a new behavior, everybody to a new understanding of how we can definitely produce a better environment. Everything clean, everything in its place, and especially everything easy to understand. That is when we apply the visual systems that are a very important part in the standardization of the 5S. Now, on top of a very good culture on 5S that would be at the bottom of our structure, then we have a second layer that is comprised of some important issues that will be necessary for us to really have a good base so that we can build our plan. Number one is education. Of course, we all know in the past there was all those apprentice programs that the leaders in each group would be always training their people, the newcomers and all the others. Everyone would come and learn from the maestro. I remember that. Well, later on, as people started studying or evolving, all of a sudden we have kind of gotten out of that good custom of talking to the people and having opportunities to train them all the time. But that education should never stop. Actually, we should always be looking for little or bigger opportunities to educate our people, to have them understand the new equipment, the new technologies, or the standard technologies that we have had for many years. So then comes the opportunity to train. Exactly. Now comes the opportunity to practice what we have learned, right? We need to practice what we have learned, and we have to make sure that everybody is participating in this process of, it is a process of having people learn by doing. Learning by doing is the best way in which we learn things. We don't only learn when we are told something or we are reading something, but the time when we really learn something is when we practice it. So practicing is a very important part, and that is where training comes handy. Training is doing the work. That training is when we are ready we are prepared, we're educated, and we have some support, perhaps at the beginning, someone who knows better than us will help us understand and do the job. And by doing the job is when we really learn. There is also one important ingredient in this second layer of support, and that is management support. And I am talking here all levels, all the way to top management support. Sometimes you say, oh yeah, this manager is all for it. He wants us to get everything that we need. Wait a second. But sometimes that person never shows up in the workshop or in the floor of the plant. That is not too good. Really, we want every manager to show their support and come to the area, come to the site where we are doing work, and make sure that he understands everything that's going on in the floor, and that everybody sees that he is or she is interested in what we are doing, because that is the kind of support that we need from management. That is very important. Now, there is also a stage of culturization. When we get new people from outside, even if they come already with some knowledge and some experience, we get people with different habits, different ways of doing things. Let me tell you, it is important that everybody in our workshop, in any activity that we have in maintenance in our plant, that everybody acts in a similar way, that everybody has the same principles of working, and that they all agree with the ideas and with the standards that we have established. That is the culture of the group, and we want the new people, whoever comes from outside, to become culturized, meaning to become absorbed by this culture and agree with this culture. That is a very important base, because that way we will not have those severe disagreements, and we will not have some people trying to outdo others. No, that's not good. We want everybody to work as a team, to work in the same direction, to go with the same effort to help each other. That cooperation is critical, my friends. Okay, now we're ready. I think that now we're ready. And here is where we want to make sure that you follow these steps, so that you are sure to be doing the right things and to make sure that your implementation is going to go really well. First of all, one thing that I have seen everywhere is that the work order systems are not always in place. Work order systems are very important, my friends. Work order systems helps us organize our work, helps us understand what is happening with each piece of equipment. It helps us to make sure that we are taking into account everything that happens to that piece of equipment, that we have a history of that piece of equipment, that we have exact notes about the time that each repair has taken, that we know exactly if some failure is repeating itself over and over. Also, we will be able here in real time to measure the cost of the maintenance. Remember that cost of maintenance is a very important part in our business. So, downtimes, cost of maintenance, cost of labor, all that is critical in the history of the equipment. And the best way to consolidate that information is through a very good work order system. Now, some CMMS systems to keep the maintenance within control through a computerized system, those are very good. I agree with those companies that already have their CMMSs, especially bigger companies that need to keep control of hundreds of pieces of equipment. CMMS is the only way to go. Now, it is important that the CMMS be very well implemented with all the data that we need to have in there, but most importantly, that everybody, every individual in our maintenance force be very well trained and as to how they need to use that system, how they need to feed information to that system, so that the system really has all the information that we need, because otherwise you will not be able to have in real time all the information that you need from it. It is not recommendable to have someone else who doesn't even put their hands in the equipment to be keying in or to be filling out all the information for the work order system. That doesn't work, my friends. That does not give you a good service. I recommend that we avoid that. Well, now we are in that good mode. We have everything in place. We are controlling our things. We know very well how much we're paying for this and for this other. Well, now this is a parallel activity that we are going to develop. We in maintenance need to do two ways of training. That is training and cross-training. Training is for bringing new knowledge, for bringing new discussions among our team, so that all our technicians become more prepared all the time. All our technicians become more knowledgeable about the equipment, about the new technologies, etc. That is very important, and we should devote not fewer than some 10 or 15 minutes per day to have these discussions and these exchanges of knowledge and experience with all our team, with all our technicians. That is wonderful. Just imagine 10 minutes of training every day. They will take you very far in a few months. You will have a team of very educated and very well-trained and knowledgeable people. And that's what you want, because finally, it's a good exchange. You provide that effort, that service, you are serving your customers, your technicians, and at the same time, they are becoming more qualified to produce a better quality of service, and also they will be more efficient at what they are doing. So it is very critical. The other area of training, that is cross-training too, is not only applicable to our technicians, but also to start training the people who operate the equipment. Operators should become also well-trained and very knowledgeable about their equipment. What for? So that they can help us with one of the main tasks in these advanced technologies of maintenance. It is autonomous maintenance. Autonomous maintenance is that activity where every operator is part of the service to their equipment. They are making sure that their equipment is kept clean, that their equipment is very well lubricated, that there's no noises, no leaks, no problems, no vibrations, and they can let us know whenever there is a little problem, any deviation from optimal operation. They will tell us, hey, there is some noise here in the motor or whatever. So that way they will really be very, very valuable, helping us keep the equipment in operation, because remember, that is our job. Maintenance is about maintaining the equipment running in optimal condition. Okay? Well, if we have complied with this effort, now there is a very good chance that we have the time to devote some attention to our preventive maintenance program. And this preventive maintenance program shouldn't be just read a paper and go do the things and then come and check it. And no, it's not about filling out papers. Preventive maintenance is the conscious effort of every individual, every person, to contribute to keep the equipment in optimal condition. That is what autonomous maintenance helps do. So preventive maintenance is to avoid the repetition of problems or even the occurrence of problems. I strongly recommend that we devote more and more time to preventive maintenance, because that way the failures are going to go away. You are contributing to increase the reliability of your equipment and to reduce the time that it takes to do the service or the maintenance to your equipment. That increases maintainability as well. So that is, my dear friends, the basics of the best maintenance practices. Best maintenance practices should be everywhere. If we manage to only, listen to this, if we only do these 5 practices, only these 5 best practices, and if we have the right environment with our 5S, with our continuous support of management, with our constant vigilance of correct finishing of the services, when we make sure that every one of our technicians is a professional, forget it. You don't need more to really look good and comply with all the demands of a good TPM implementation, a good TPR implementation, and you're going to be so much more productive. Remember, maintenance is not an easy job. Maintenance is a very committed profession that you should be very happy, very glad, and very proud to be a part of it. Enjoy it. Thank you very much.